You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Welcome back, Charleston. Thanks again for tuning in to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. You know, I just like to say, just take a little bit of time and say thank you to those of you that listen to this program and rely on the information within. I've been doing this for 6 years now. And this is my shrink chair almost. This is therapeutic for me to come on here and just tell it like it is. This is an opportunity for me to educate you, the public, about the real estate process. And it's something that I take very seriously. You know, kind of side note here, but I was looking through some of my older books because I'm a big reader. And a lot of it is business related, you know, self-help related, mindset related. And there's a fantastic book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, if you've never read it. And one of the things he mentions is to, especially from a business perspective, identify the thing that you can be the best at. Now, I could say that I want to be the best at, you know, X, Y, or Z, but we also, at least on my team, go through an exercise called the parking spot exercise, which very simply means that let's look at the market. Let's look for opportunities. Are there any open parking spots in which there is demand for it? If somebody else has already parked their car in that spot, you know, if another agent's doing something well, how much time and energy do we need to expend to remove that from that spot, take that spot from them, do a better job, blah, blah, blah. And so it really just kind of got me thinking about what is it that this show is designed to do. And it's designed to provide you with the most reliable, useful information about the real estate market and about the real estate process, not just in Charleston, but I'm hoping in this entire area, in the entire Southeast, because a lot of what I'm talking about applies to their markets too. And so we're on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, all kinds of different media players and outlets. And I encourage you to go online and take a look at some of those. But if you'd like to just contact us directly, my website is listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or, of course, give me a call. My personal number, which you can call or text, is 843-345-1273, 345-1273. And I'm in the studio taking your calls. We've got about 15 minutes left. Anything real estate related at all that you have a question about or a story you'd like to share, the number here is 843-556-1250. That's 843-556-1250. Now, the last thing that I'll say is that we've had a lot of folks that have hired us over the past few months to sell their home. We're seeing a lot of success with rebranding their properties, reintroducing it to the market, getting it sold. Our average days on market is 19 days. So if you want a copy of our marketing plan, you want to see what we're doing, the number to text is 555-888. And text the word WTMA to 555-888. That's 555-888. Text the word WTMA. And we're going to go to the phones. We've got Tim on the line. Tim, how are you this morning?
Doing great, Brian. I enjoy the show. I'm an appraiser. I usually do a little bit of work Saturday mornings, and I enjoy listening to you while I'm doing it.
I appreciate that. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to bring something up that is probably going to be a concern in our business in the near future. They have allowed for inspection waivers, which is actually an appraisal waiver on properties that meet certain criteria. If they've had an appraisal in the last, I don't know at the time, 3 to 5 years, if the market has been increasing in value, if they have an automated valuation on it that works out for the value and so forth. If the property is under, they're trying to move it from $250,000 to $400,000. And under certain circumstances, it won't be necessary to get an appraisal. Now, at first glance, I'm sure all realtors say, yeah, hey, great, you can't crash my deal. But if there's no appraisal and you're pricing that property and the market turns a little bit maybe and it goes down and the homeowner can't get out of the house and they sue, who are they going to sue? Who's responsible for the value?
Sure. Yeah, and you know? So I've heard of this, and the concern is that we're removing a level of oversight. We're removing a third party that really doesn't have any emotional connection or benefit to that deal going through.
That's correct. The only person that doesn't get commission on the job is the appraiser, who gets a flat fee.
That's right. And you're going to get your fee no matter what. It's just up to you to, be as responsible as possible in valuing that property for what you truly believe it to be worth. And so, I do think that is a concern. I think it's something that I'm a little surprised has passed.
I do a lot of work for real estate agents. I work with real estate agents and offices and construction companies on certain projects. I would encourage a real estate agent who is a homeowner. How is the homeowner supposed to know that they are getting the proper value for their money, that they're not getting screwed? If you're in a situation where there's an appraisal waiver is happening, I would strongly encourage you to get your own appraiser. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's change. The money for an appraisal for a $500,000 house is change.
Right.
And not only do you have the peace of mind, you also have limited liability now because the liability is going on to the appraiser. Sure.
Yeah, I can't think of a time when, unless it was an investment property that I was buying or helping somebody else buy, that we waived the appraisal contingency. Obviously, if you're getting a mortgage, it's reasonable for you to understand that anytime you get a mortgage, you have to get an appraisal so that the bank says, yep, it's worth what you're paying for it or more. And so as a result, we're going to lend you the money you need in order to buy it. But if you're paying cash, you don't obviously have to get an appraisal. It's totally up to you.
Right.
But it's a negotiation tool.
Well, that too. The times I do appraisals, even when there is no appraisal contingency, appraised value contingency, and the bank will still be getting an appraisal, and it may be usually, like you say, an investment property, one that needs work, and it's not going to appraise because it's in bad shape, and they're loaning such a small amount of money on it that they're going to go through with it, maybe for a hard money lender or high-end properties, oftentimes multi-million-dollar properties. They will. I've seen those with no appraisal contingency, and these big jumbo loans, they're usually putting 50% down anyhow. So quite honestly, if it's that much difference, if there's a $2 million property and they're going to be borrowing $1 million on it, does it really matter if it's $100,000 difference? Probably not that much.
Right.
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 Yeah. So, and SCPAC, the State South Carolina Professional Appraisers Coalition, is we've been discussing this situation, primarily appraisal waivers, and we're kind of leaning on the fact that banks are sort of saying we don't need you to protect the public trust on lower cost houses. I would argue that the people that are buying a $200,000 house need more help and more protection than a person that's buying a $2 million house.
I 100% agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to have an appraiser for a $200,000 house, and the mechanic, who may not be so business savvy, gets screwed on a $200,000 house that's worth $150,000, and nobody even knows because an AVO, automated valuation, a machine, did the averages in a neighborhood and told the bank that house was worth $200,000, even though it was really, 500 square foot smaller than the average house in the neighborhood.
Sure. Well, it's just like making your purchase decision and how much you're going to offer a house for or pay for it based off of a Zillow's estimate. Same basic principle. So, Tim, I appreciate you calling in, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I always appreciate your time and attention on the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Thanks for all your hard work out there. Appreciate it.
Good thing. Bye-bye.
All righty, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you about buying and selling a house in the spring and how you can get ready for this rush hour that's going to occur over the next few months, and why you might want to consider selling your house before the spring rush. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Find Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues next on The Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.